In the early 70s, weren't people making a lot of noise about the satanic and occult overtones within the band?
Oh yeah,
it's the same thing. Everything on it that's sort of successful, and if the sort of moral majority don't understand it, they'll try and put it down. They'll try and get other people to read all sorts of things into it, and just put it down like that.
Well, what was your standpoint on that phase of your career with the satanic overtones and the occult?
It was, the stuff that we were writing, it wasn't just satanic and all that sort of, it was like everything. But of course the moral majority sort of people picked up on the satanic part of it. I mean, most of it was about stopping wars and all, that side of it, and a lot of science fiction stuff. And there wasn't that much satanic stuff. And what there was, it wasn't exactly for the devil or anything like that. It was around at the time. We were just bringing it to people's attention, saying that we would bring other things to people's attention.
Hello there, I'm Ronnie James Dio.
And I'm Geezer Butler.
And we're from Black Sabbath.
Geezer Butler, born on July the 17th of 1949, as we all know, was the bassist and songwriter for Black Sabbath for the majority of the band's career, namely as part of the original lineup, and all the reunion years with Ozzy Osbourne, but also served during the entire Ronnie James Dio and Ian Gillan eras, and did 1 year with the Tony Martin era. He has also released albums under his GZR band. His autobiography, Into the Void, was released in 2023.
In many ways, the two of you are actually the core of Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Without any of you, it would be hard to see the band as Black Sabbath, really.
Yeah, believe me, the years he wasn't with us, it weren't for the want of me calling up trying to get him back.
Well, you were home chopping woods, or?
Yeah. He was down with his feet up while we were out there.
Yeah, watching the telly. There you go.
Geezer, along with Black Sabbath, would be cited as the inventors of heavy metal, with Tony Iommi and Geezer Butler forming a bond that was as strong as brothers.
And the first song we ever wrote and did on stage was the song called Black Sabbath. And before that, we just used to do 12-bar blues stuff. And then we thought, well, we've got to play the new stuff just to see what happens. And the whole place just stopped and stared and didn't know what the hell to make of it. And it went down incredibly well, so we knew it, we were doing the right thing.
Did you have to do anything special to get that sound? Because, this was a new sound. People weren't doing this.
I think just play as loud as we could.
Turn it up to 11?
12? I don't know. I think what gave it the depth, was I'd only been playing bass for about 6 months at the time, and I used to just follow what Tony did on the guitar, like the riff, so that made the riff sound ultra heavy, and that's where the sound sort of came from.
What about the decibel level of the music that you play? You get a lot of criticism about that. What are your feelings about that? What about you?
I think it's the size of the arenas that we play. You're playing to 20,000 people.
They can all hear you. There's no question, no problem with that.
And the kids come to expect it. That they want to be smashed up against the wall, volume and things like that. It's a lot quieter on stage actually than out front. But the kids, in fact, if you're not loud enough, the kids are the first to complain.
Complain now.
Yeah, they just want to have it washed all over them. The sound.
As an excellent grammar student in school, Geezer had a steady hand in writing lyrics that were just as good as the band's various singers, being given such heavy times in which these songs were written in: post-World War II fallouts, civil unrest, poverty, propaganda, the Vietnam War, and the sad shape that soldiers were returning in.
Sabado, Bloody Sabado in Paranoid, okay? Those were your devilish ways you started, okay? At the very beginning. Why? Tell me a joke and I'll sigh, you will laugh, I will cry, happiness I can't feel. That to me is so unreal. Por quê? Todo diabo dentro de vocês. Eu sei que tem part of love and everything creation.
We didn't start do anything about evil. It was a warning against evil. When we had the single Paranoid ad, that was actually played on the radio all the time. We did Top of the Pops and all that sort of thing. And it wasn't sort of looked down upon then as it is today. It was just like another form of pop music then. Well, I think we just, the music needed to go in a different direction from, when we first got together, the music wanted to sounded evil anyhow, so obviously the lyrics went with that, but it wasn't only about Satanism and stuff like that. It was about, again, anti-war, anti-nuclear. A lot of it was science fiction, as in things like Iron Man. And it was just like, complimenting the music, really, the lyrics.
Is this kind of a large joke? I mean, you guys are just guys.
Well, if it's an expensive one, then if it is.
It's paying off very well, but, I mean, I think a lot of people think you're probably into devil worship and satanics and a lot of heavy stuff. And I may be wrong, but you come off as just four guys out there making music, having fun and making some money. I mean, am I wrong?
It's an entertainment more, it's what we do best.
Geezer Butler was actually a rhythm guitarist prior to joining Black Sabbath, switching to bass after realizing no one could match Tony Iommi. The band would rise to the top levels of rock fame, but would falter after creative and financial woes, leading to the dismissal of Ozzy Osbourne.
That was the end. I mean, we just had to be honest with each other after that tour, and that's why we split up. I mean, the album was terrible, doing the Never Say Die album, we just knew it's gone as far as it could in that particular lineup. Ozzy just didn't want to do it anymore.
He was, if I recall, he was sitting on the side of the stage in his red outfit, like red jammies, and just downing whiskey.
Yeah, he was in a terrible state.
He was in a terrible state,
yeah.
Yeah, it was time for the breakup.
Well, it just took so long to get that album finished, Never Say Die, because Ozzy just didn't have a clue what to do. We realised, I couldn't carry on that anymore with that lineup.
The band would be re-energized not once or twice, but 3 times with the inclusion of Ronnie James Dio. All 3 times would be short-lived for various reasons.
What was that? I mean, what caused the initial split?
It mainly came from too much touring on the Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules. We just didn't have any, because it was so successful, we just didn't have any time out to a break or anything. And sort of all got in each other's way and didn't really talk to each other on the tour, and we just kept getting further and further apart.
The band would also see the likes of Ian Gillan joining for a short time. With Tony and Geezer not finding the right people, Geezer would eventually move on as well.
Well, after the Born Again disaster was over with, I just got totally disillusioned with the whole thing, and I left in, sometime in 1984 after the Born Again tour. I just had enough of it.
After trying his hand as a solo artist, Geezer became part of Ozzy Osbourne's solo band, recording 1 studio album and performing live on and off from 1988 to 1995.
Anything you want to say while we...
I'll just say good night now.
And I think I'll probably repeat that. Good night now. And Teddy, bye.
Bye.
Geezer calls himself retired now, but never say never.
Only 1999.
You got it.